This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to look at the Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes Heroic Autobot Bumblebee. I am going to go ahead and refer to this as a retro card back version, even if it's not particularly retro card back sized, since it is using the modern version of Bumblebee. In fact, this is the Netflix version of Bumblebee that many people had a hard time trying to get their hands on back in the day because it was a Walmart exclusive, although I think this is also a Walmart exclusive. Along with Bumblebee, Gears was also released. When I was there were 3 Bumblebees and about 6 Gears. So I don't know if it's just that a lot of Bumblebees were already purchased, because I imagine that you're going to do a 1-to-1 ratio on these, or if Hasbro did something really stupid and have like a 2-to-1 ratio of Gears to Bumblebee, because, you know, everybody obviously wants Gears. Like his original release kind of shelf warmed there, guys. Let's not put extras out there if we don't have to. On the back of the box, we have some kind of vintage style artwork. I think it is actually the vintage artwork. We also have the VW official licensed product logo on there as well. What's kind of interesting to me to note here is that they actually have the Veritech fighter version of Jetfire on the back. Also, we have multiples of the same Dinobot and multiples of the same Decepticons. So, oops. And Trax is red. Although, what's interesting here too is that it looks like Trax has the alternate head that they created for that other character. I don't remember what they named that one offhand. Sorry. It's a world of constant change where things are not what they seem. It's the world of the Transformers, a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons. So we have a text spec here of Bumblebee, function espionage. The least likely can be the most dangerous. Small, eager, and brave, Bumblebee acts as a messenger and spy. Due to his small size, he dares go where others can't and won't. Looks like he has a strength of 2, intelligence of 8, speed of 7, and a firepower of 1. Let's go ahead and open this sucker up. By the way, I do like the vintage and styled artwork here from the original toy. However, one thing to note, I think it would have been nice if they'd gone ahead and given Bumblebee a second head where we have like that vintage style or classic original version of his head instead of the cartoon version. But that's just me. I actually do like that version of the head a bit. It's unique. Or unique-ish in the world of Transformers. Here's a stupid weapon. There's a very specific reason why they designed this for the Cliff Jumper figure, and then they gave it to every variation that uses that same transformation process. You know, Hasbro, yeah, could have gone ahead and come up with something different. Bumblebee actually used specific guns also, and this is just dumb. Now, I mean, you can separate it into like 2 pistols here, but then you still have this little stupid piece of garbage here as well that's useless in robot mode. So it's just kind of, I just hate this one. To me, this is just lazy design. And I got that backwards, don't I? So I wish they would have come up with something different to use on some of these characters. All right, Bumblebee for his part. Let's take a look at him. His head is on a ball joint. We can move it back and forth a little bit, spin it around left and right. There is some interference by other parts around him. You can force him around, but, you know, it's probably going to damage stuff after a while. So we got the up, down, left, and right. I want to note they did not paint the eyes at all on this, sticking with the pure silver on the original toy, which again makes me wish they had just gone ahead and done that version. Arms can hinge up and down, spin in a 360 around that way. We do have a bicep cut. There is a single joint at the elbow that goes and does a 180 all back and forth. There is a spin at the wrist. You can spin at the waist. There is a little bit, I don't know if I would go as far as to call this an ab crunch, but he can lean backwards. But that's due to transformation and not actual articulation that was meant to be there, so to speak. He's got kind of this internal thigh swivel here. So it hides that there's one there. It does give us about a little less than 90 degrees able to spin his leg out. We do have a single joint at the knee. They did design the knee once more to have a little bit of a rounded part here so that it doesn't look quite as ick when it's opened up. We do have an ankle rocker. But that's all it does. It rocks in and out. You can't do like a back and forth on there really. That's all the knee. Now just to bring in as a quick comparison here, we do have the Netflix Bumblebee. You'll note that our vintage inspired one is much more yellow color and the Netflix one is a little bit more orange. We've got the Autobot logo on his stomach here and his foot here. So that's, I mean, basically his logo there is meant for vehicle mode and that's a robot mode logo. The windows on him are clear. These ones are black. I don't know if that's a clear plastic painted or if it's a yellow plastic painted black. We'll find out when we get a little further. But I will straight out say I do prefer this to this. And of course, as I was kind of looking at before, his weapons are more of a gunmetal gray and his are a silver. Oops. His windshield wipers are also painted. His are not. I think there might be some paint in the eyes on this one, but it's hard to tell. They give us a more of a pearlescent white on his headlights than the silver that was just used on that. And they did add an extra bit of detailing here on the back of him to match up what was on the back of the head on the vintage figure. So that's basically all the differences between the two. If you missed out on the Netflix Bumblebee, though, this is a good substitution if you want a more classic style Bumblebee. But let's go ahead and see if I can transform him. Now, I'd like to remind you, this transformation process has been used like, I think 5 times, right? You had the Netflix Bumblebee, you had Cliff Jumper, you had Studio Series Cliff Jumper. Right, so that's 4 right there. You had Bug Bite, 5. Hubcap, 6. Oh, and then we had the Shattered Glass version. That's 7. And I think they put out a Bumble Jumper version, but they named them something else, which would be 8. So yeah, this transformation process has been used multiple times, although Bumblebee is the only one with the VW bug styling. Like even a Shattered Glass version, I think, used the Cliff Jumper body. So we will start by removing the backpack. And if you might recall, I had lots of issues when it came to the Cliff Jumper one, although those came from not being able to spin this part, it being fused together until heated up and forced apart. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. To be perfectly honest, I feel like I'm not getting off to a good start already. That may have been the smoothest transformation I've done thus far. Yay me! Alright, so here we have his VW Beetle vehicle mode. And not everything is kind of lining up properly. Unfortunately, all of his wheels are on mushroom pegs, so they spin like absolute garbage. Although, I did notice here, he does have the VW logo on his hubcap. So I guess that's probably the reason why they did that. I would be more than willing to toss that out and have an actual pin in there instead. But yeah, rolls like garbage. But the vehicle mode does look really good. I will admit that. I'm not going to there's no reason to transform him to just do a comparison in vehicle mode. I do think it might have been kind of nice, though, had they gone ahead and put the a small Autobot insignia up here also, just for the vehicle mode. Some versions of Bumblebee I've seen, that being the Masterpiece version, has actually had a logo here, that, or you could put one there, and then it had a flippable one at the chest, so you could hide it and show it off, which I thought was actually a good way to do it. But yeah, this will now allow you, if you like, in my case, I will probably leave this version of Bumblebee in robot mode and this version in vehicle mode for my display. Because I do like Bumblebee. I like old school Bumblebee. I haven't cared much for the movie versions lately. I hate that. Oh, actually, now that I think about it. So, the reason why he comes with this monstrosity his weapon storage here for that stupid bazooka. The reason for having the bazooka like it is and come apart like it does is to specifically have them recreate a scene from the original cartoon series in one episode where the Autobots used a hydrofoil setup to get across a lake. And that's why we get this, which is fine. It's a great little throwback offshoot for one figure, not every figure that uses this transformation process. Yes, I am going to complain about that incessantly. The only other complaint I have is, of course, using the same face sculpt. I definitely would have rather seen that face sculpt used on this version of Bumblebee. Or, like I said, you could have given us a second head with that face sculpt in it, and that would have worked too. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe that, like myself, they should have gone with a different head for this, or a second head so you could swap them out if you wanted? Do you like the regular head, cartoon accurate head better? And, like me, do you wish they would have given us other weapons? I mean, there is a mold for Bumblebee's gun out there. They could have given it to us instead. Or with this. That would have been fine too. I would have approved of that. Especially when you consider that this is actually the only way you can keep his weapons with him, is by having him set up like this. Or if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to transform that like button. And if you want to see more, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.